Hello and welcome to Nerdrunners. I'm Mark, and does he run first click? He never runs then. Does he run second click? No, he never runs then. Does he run third click? He never runs then. He runs last click, the boy runs last click. It's Stef.
That was the longest intro I've ever heard you do. That's very accomplished. I'm very proud. Hello, everyone.
And joining us is a pair of fellow podcasters who are all too familiar with running last click. It's Chris and Eady from Run Last Click.
Hello! Hello! Woo! Yay! Woo! It's us. They're our names. Hello.
So I'm not entirely sure who we had to kill to get you onto the podcast.
You just have to ask nicely. That tends to be it.
Yeah.
Then if I'm in a mood to corral Edie to do something, then he'll turn up too. Isn't that right, Edie?
Pretty much. You used the stick with the electric shock in it, so I had to come.
Exactly. Well, I use a bit. I use a bit of carrot and stick.
There was cheesecake there as well. So
I'm just trying to think now how you would dangle a cheesecake off a fish hook without it losing its structural integrity.
Liquid nitrogen.
Good answer.
Magnets.
Magnets. Also magnets. Fill it with iron filing.
Iron filing in the base would be delicious.
Exactly.
Then you can hold it aloft. No one will ever know.
It's too delicious. They'll die happy.
Yeah. Oh, dear me.
How are you guys doing anyway?
Good. I've been in the garden playing bikes, so I'm always happy with that.
Yeah, you were off today, weren't you, Edie?
Yeah, it was, and it was sunny. It was
really sunny. It was really nice today. It made me very sad that I was inside. Hopefully this weekend's going to be nice. I'm looking forward to that.
I've just got another weekend of rugby planned, so it'll be an interesting time.
Oh, it's the World Cup?
Yeah, it's that cup of things that goes around the world.
All the
teams.
Didn't someone who's very unlikely win against someone who was very likely to win?
Oh, yeah. So, can I go into rugby talk for a bit, Mark? Is this allowed?
Go sports!
Cool, okay.
Your sports team sports the most sports.
Yes. Thank you. So, Japan haven't won a game in 24 years, and they were ranked very, very low in the world, and they beat South Africa, who are ranked third in the world, convincingly, with a try in overtime. Oh, it was amazing.
Wow.
I mean, when you say they haven't won a game in, 23 years?
23 years. Haven't won a World Cup game. I should clarify.
Okay. Because that would be a real shit team.
Yeah, they were really good. I was very surprised. I think everyone went down to watch the game just interested in South Africa and ended up seeing one of the best games they've rugby seen in a long, long time.
That's really cool. That's always nice when you see something unexpected. That must be the most exciting thing for a sports fan.
Oh yeah. I was up on my feet. I was screaming. I was cheering because you always cheer for the underdogs.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's my sports talk over. God, that's the most I can sports at once, really.
Very good.
So shall we start how we usually start, Mark, with what we've been playing?
Yeah. Why don't you go ahead first then, Steph? What have you been playing recently?
Well, I've been on holiday for a little bit, so I took a few decks overseas with me. I took a couple of teaching decks because I had Canadians to teach, and they're all very nice and an end of fun variant because they're all from the core set as well. Because I was trying to show off what the game can do. So, Engineering the Future deck, solid, Bioroid Ice, and a little bit of Fast Advance in there, and that went down okay. After I got there, I'd been there for a day, and a couple of my friends had bought the starter sets already, which I was very happy with. Apparently, my powers of persuasion are immense. But I also did take overseas the stuff I'm proud of running at the minute, which is continuing to run the Julian Jinteki, which is Jinteki Biotech, All of the Death, made even more powerful by the Hollywood pack. Because back channels was in there, which means that all my traps that don't work now make me money.
That is a card.
It's a wonderful card.
I've been keen to have a go with that. I haven't had a play yet.
It's a lot of fun. I mean, especially if you Mushin out, say Mushin out a Cerebral Overwriter and advance it, and then they don't run on it. That can just be a dead weight sat there. Whereas in this case, you can get 12 credits, or 9 credits even.
Yeah, that's nice.
I think.
That's big.
Oh,
yeah.
It's a lot of good because it means you suddenly go from not lethal to incredibly dangerous.
I was trying that against Lane, Archam Lane. You remember Lane, don't you, Edie?
I do indeed.
Same first name as you. That's why you're called Edie, and he's called Lane.
Yep.
True story. Many more of these exciting and true stories This is the benefit of having us on a podcast. Anyway, yes, I was trying to account siphoning down to nothing so I could advance that 5 advanced thing that he had, and that I wasn't sure was a trap or an agenda. And then he, advanced it twice more, and then thingamabobbed it for just ridiculous money, and I was sad.
It's a genuinely terrifying prospect when I've had guys there who just account siphoned me twice, and then realised that it didn't matter to me. I was fine. The next day I was like, okay, I've got all my money back now. Come at me. Come on. But yeah, it continued. I don't think I've actually lost a game with this deck ever. I don't know what's wrong with it.
Oh, that's a ballsy thing to say, man.
Don't get me wrong. It is in no way anywhere near any kind of tier of a deck. It is a horrible, horrible, janky deck. But it's just got all the death in it. It's all the traps that I could muster in there, plus a couple of scorches for good measure. And because you're using Jinteki Biotech, you've got the option to kill them or put in the 4 advances, which is really good if you're running Future Perfect. That being said, I haven't yet come across anyone running Film Critic, which could be a deal breaker.
Because it's Black Tree.
I was speaking of Film Critic. Last night I pulled off the ultimate and put a Future Perfect on one, and I lost the game against Personal Evolution, but I didn't care because I put a Future Perfect on a Film Critic. And I was so happy.
You had won the
I was so happy.
victory.
I turned to the pair of players to my right. I was just like, I did it, guys! I did it! Completely interrupting their game, but I didn't care.
These are things that people need to know about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's just trying to teach the proper Netrunner etiquette. Like I did have to teach everyone who was over in Canada, who was learning it for the first time, that you have to scream surge.
That's very important, isn't it, Eady?
Absolutely vital.
I said it doesn't work otherwise. You have to actually put it straight into the trash. I think a couple of them believe me. I don't know whether that's true or not. But no, it went quite well. Like I say, it didn't. I was playing a bunch of novices over there. I didn't manage to get to the Vancouver meetup, unfortunately. So I really wanted to go, but weddings got in the way. No.
If you're playing flavor text as Law, then Curtain Wall becomes a very, very interesting card.
This is true. I should do that. I should start a mini tournament where flavor text is Law. I had considered doing a narrative tournament at one point, but I'm still trying to work that out.
How would that work?
I don't know. it was an idea of like keeping a certain amount of credits at the end of the game if you won, and then throughout the day, different people represent the different facets of the corporations.
Oh, so like a continual, so your deck has like a story and a through arc throughout the day.
and like the runners work together as well. So I can't afford to do this next turn. So what I'm going to do is in the break I'm going to go to my friend Kit, who's got 20 credits, and say, can I borrow 5 credits so I can start off on a good time next round?
I like the idea of swapping cards. I think that could be very straightforward. Like for like, influence wise, and that could definitely be quite fun. I'm
still trying to put it together. I might have to. I'm working on it. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
I'm just imagining now like an Aesop's pawn shop table where you could go in and trade in your cards for other players have traded. And...
Oh, I hadn't even thought about that. That'd be brilliant. Throughout the day, you have to go and leave one of your cards with Aesop's. He puts it in a little lockbox, and you can take one of your other cards out.
I like the idea of a tuck shop, but for Netrunner cards. I think that's quite fun.
If all the kids around the back of the bike shed just trading cards secretly, it's like,
exactly.
Come on, the ref's coming. Come on, hurry. And then for my runner, because I'm boring and I still like running wizard, and he's big and he's scary, but I'm not running the fixed strength breakers. I've still got that weird variant that wasn't looking for job, but then I updated, which then turned into I don't know what it is anymore. It's not doing as well as I'd like. I'm waiting for Fisk. I'm just waiting to get my hands on that card.
Is it like maybe having a part-time job sort of archetype? Do you think maybe? Is it slightly more sensible than the other one? Yeah,
it's pretty much on the dole. That's what it is. I might have to rename that deck. I'm going to Netrunner DB. I'll be right back.
Well, as long as you get it before this goes up, that's the important thing.
Yeah.
And it's been stolen for Exile already.
Oh, that's true, yeah.
He does have some of the better names of decks, that is true.
How about you, Mark? What have you been running?
Corp-wise, I've been in a bit of a slump. I've really been unable to think of any decent ideas for a Corp deck that doesn't suddenly turn into Butcher Shop.
It is very
But
strong.
I've kind of been sticking with my Blue Sun Space Ice ridiculous deck that I took to the tournament a while back, and it did quite well. But I recently played a game where the runner decided, okay, I am just going to outmoney you, so I will gain 3 this turn and put 3 on Katie. And they wouldn't run until I put something in my scoring server. And since I run only the renovation agendas plus hostile takeover, basically any time I was going to score an agenda, they could see that I was going to score an agenda, and had 70. I think they finished the game on over 100 credits because they just wouldn't do it. And I was just kind of just going through my deck, trying to just get my econ and maybe try and tag them some way, or just put some tagging ice down on that server. But because they weren't running on.
Do you have Snatch and Grab in that deck?
I don't, but I am seriously
Maybe you
considering
should put Snatch and Grab in your deck.
It's the solution to so many problems.
Yeah, that would have definitely worked. But I have
that
gone.
a Wayland's deck that you're using?
Yeah, it's a Blue Sun.
You could maybe try even Contract Killer as well. That's one that I think some people quite like. And kind of forces out a run, in those times that you want to force out a run. I always find that useful in Wayland to have an advanceable thing that's not an agenda. Because, God, man, you can get those first 5 points so easy, and then suddenly it's just a massive ball ache. Can I say ball ache?
Yeah.
Oh, you can swear as much as you like. We are a very blue podcast.
Well, then it's definitely a massive, massive ball ache. Yes. So, yeah.
My solution was to go back to Capital Investors. So I really fell in love with that card, and now it's, again, does what it did in the first place. It sits there, it gets me up to 6 credits a turn, and it'll force them to run on the server, and then I can see source them afterwards.
Sure.
So maybe I'll try and squeeze in. I do like the idea of Snatch and Grab because there's so much resource and so much KT dependency. Although I've played against a few people recently who the first port of call after tagging them with Data Raven has been, okay, I'll just get rid of your KT, and now you are a bit more bankrupt. Yay! Good luck trying to deja vu them back. And yeah, that's been still doing really. The MVP of that deck is unbelievably Nebula, because I think no one remembers that card. Yeah,
I love it. I've been playing it in 10 and it's amazing.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. Like, I've trashed so many cards since I built the deck a few months ago. Trashed so many cards with Nebula, and it's been, okay, right, I've got rid of your barrier breaker, you hit the spider web that was behind it, now you can't get in, and I'm just going to keep scoring out of the server now. Because I think, even though they tend to have seen Space Ice before encountering Nebula, even seeing like some ice installed in advance, they tend to maybe forgotten that there's one that trashes ice. So we'll just kind of run at it, I'll res it, and then all of a sudden they've lost some of their breakers. And especially because I think a lot of runners at the moment tend to get a bit, not cocky as such, but they think, oh, I've got a Mimic and 1 bank to data sucker token, I can take on pretty much anything, and then
you just described
century.
Cockiness, so yeah, no, I
yeah,
think that's accurate, yeah.
I'm one of those cocks. The amount of times I've just face planted into something awful because I'm like, yeah, I can handle it. Oh no.
Never mind.
My entire deck's blown up in front of me.
Yeah, it's so bad. And as well, underway renovation is still great, and the fact I can trash around a quarter of a runner's deck just using it. It's like I honestly don't care if you come in, take it, and get 1 point. I've trashed probably 12 cards by the time you do that.
It is a satisfying feeling. I enjoy that.
So good.
A lot, yeah.
It's still the best feeling to do it against noise and think, there's viruses you're going to install against me. Well, they're all in your bin, so...
I quite like the see how you like it sort of approach as well, yeah.
I have compromised my own game plan by trashing noise out.
Yeah.
It's been quite bad. And runner-wise, I've decided I wanted a bit of a change and I wanted a bit of a challenge, so I ended up building a kit deck using pretty much only core set and creation and control. And I'm so new to Shaper bullshit that having a Gordian Blade and a Magnum Opus installed and thinking, I'll do what I've heard all about and clone chip that SMC back in to get my other oh wait, no, I'm only at 4 MU max and there's already 3 out and that's 2 M. No, I'm fucked. Okay, never mind. Definitely not used to green cards.
Jeez, man, Akimetsu.
Yeah.
I was tempted by that, but I instead went with Omnidrive. Mostly because it had kit on it, and it's a kit deck, and I'm a sucker for adding cards that have the runner that I'm using on them. Because I was like, well, that kind of that gets rid of my MU problem, and also I can get recurring credits, so why not? It actually works out quite well. It pays for itself if you get to use it enough, but also the hosting a 1MU program for free is also worth the 3 credits at times as well. So yeah, quite enjoying OmniDrive.
Cool.
How about you guys? What Corp and Runner shenanigans have you guys been running recently?
Eady, you go first.
I've been testing a couple of games with. I got bored of playing 10, and basically I've started playing some genomics, and it's fun.
Oh, awesome.
Oh,
You're a
nice.
bad man, Eady.
I'm a terrible
Very
man.
bad man.
No, that's the best kind of man.
Yeah, hostile infrastructure is totally a card that people will pay 9 or 10 credits to trash.
Yep.
That's the asset that does a net damage when you trash things.
Yes,
is that right?
including itself. Yeah. And someone just with that and a Hokusai grid, people just look at you, and it's just a Hokusai and an Ash and R&D, and you're just like, "There's no ice." And you're like, "I don't want to run archives because it's horrible. I don't want to." Oh.
This is the interesting thing with decks like this, though, man. Like, it sounds like awful and unbeatable, but you must still lose occasionally.
Yeah,
I mean, is that just because you got no ice? How's that work?
It's got. I don't do. It's only got 9 ice. Yeah, I don't play. I've not played that many games with it, and if you get rushed, I have a feeling it is going to lose. It's got 9 agendas, and they're all horrible to steal. It's 3 feasible, 3 NAPD, and 3 future perfect.
Ooh.
Wow.
And red. That's the thing. And red herrings, and caprice, and ash, and it's like, right, this is all of my favourite stuff. Let's. It was mostly because I wanted to test allele repression, which I haven't actually used yet. Because each time I've looked at it, I've had better things to do with my remote. So that's
What's that card do?
Yeah.
it's you install for each advancement on it. You can flip it, and you can switch cards from your hand with cards from archives when you flip and trash it.
Ooh.
And it's a paid ability, so you can do it whenever you like. Costs you 2 credits, and it costs 2 to trash. But it means that you can, if they have run archives, or if they've trashed stuff and it's gone in faced up, you can then, for example, move those sundews that were face up in archives back into your hand and swap them with face down cards from your hand, and therefore make the sundews you've just drawn cost loads to trash, and probably put shocks in the bin. Like, it's
That's awesome.
I've also seen
man.
I've also seen a genomics deck that I also really want to play that runs 3 Space Camp and an offer you can't refuse, and just puts it on archives because that's hilarious.
Yep.
So yeah,
Oh, that does sound
genomics.
good.
That's the shit at the moment.
I was going to say, are you actively trying not to make friends? Is this what this has come to now?
That's every corp deck I play. Yeah,
Every corp deck is ending the fun, isn't it, Eady?
yeah.
Yes.
And on the runner side, I've been going with let's look at how many cards I can install an off-campus apartment deck with Geist. And the answer is a lot of them, but then you keep selling them or using them. Fall Guy is absurd. Fall Guy is so good. I didn't realise quite how good it was, and it's really good. You put it on, you draw a card.
Especially in Geists.
Yeah, and Geist with off-campus, it draws you 2 cards and 2 credits for a click, and that's really good. Really, really good. It doesn't win a lot, but it's you install a lot of cards. I'm still kind of trying to get the hang of how to make it work.
Maybe that's just the joy in it. It's like trying to run the all-access R&D, where you can put down multiple mediums with a hive mind, and then just blackmail yourself into R&D and access 50 cards at once. It's just the joy in building that kind of deck.
The beauty of it is it's completely focused towards doing what it has to do to make itself work, and therefore it has absolutely no multi-access, not even the interaction stuff. There's no card slots for it. I stole the deck.
Wow.
And I'm just looking and going, alright, but it works, it's brilliant. It's just you're looking at one card at a time, and that's not a very winning way to run.
I think there's just that certain degree of satisfaction from, because you've put together this deck of cards, and you kind of want to put them all out on the table. You don't really want to have to put any in the bin, so why not just put them all out on the table, and look how amazing it is, and look, I've got 40 cards on the table.
Well,
I might not win, but I put 40 cards down.
It's so hard to stack up as well, because normally you can put things out in neat rows, but if you're in a position where I've got sort of 5 other resources and 2 street peddlers sitting on an off-campus apartment, and there's just this fan of cards, like some face just stacked on each other in little piles everywhere. It's just
Do you also have the supplier, Eady?
I could.
You could, and then you stack things on top of it, their supplier, and then it stores in the input. It's conceptually very strange.
My head's hurting. I think you've really hurt me there.
I saw a deck on Netrunner DB entitled Ian's. This might even be your deck, Eady. Ian's Creepy House Party, where just everyone's in a very small room, and I thought that was quite appropriate.
Yeah, this is Geist's Creepy House Party.
You got Mr. I would not invite Mr. Lee to my house party. That, he just seems a bit, off. I suppose you invite him because you want to keep him on side, but
Yeah. You're worried that if he doesn't get an invite, he's going to blow up your house.
Yeah.
I brought three gang members for that.
I just got this image of Mr. Lee coming to your house party and consistently putting things under other things.
He'll pick up two things and then put one of those things back underneath somewhere else.
Why is James under the sofa? I don't understand.
How about you, Chris? What have you been playing recently?
I have been doing my due diligence with the newest data pack. What's it called? The Universe of Tomorrow.
Oh yes.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been fisking people, and I've been what? What are you laughing at?
Sorry, that sounds really rude. I've been fisking people.
Why?
I don't know. I just thought it did.
Did you forget
Very dirty line.
No. Sorry, I'm doing a thing where I pretend not to understand. Yes, it's like fisting, isn't it? Where you put your That's a thing some people enjoy. So
this is probably the most awkward explanation of a joke I've heard in a while.
See, I was going to try and draw that out of you, but...
Oh no, you absolutely should do. He gets so shifty.
Sorry. And also the Kronos Protocol, which, they're both fun. They're both fun things. Laramie Fisk is weird. He's a weird man. And you don't always want to make them draw a card, and it's weird and strange, and I don't really know. It's if there were more cards to make the corp draw cards. I think there's only Woman in the Red Dress. I think that's it.
Eden Fragment, I guess, as well. Or was it Eden Shard? Eden Shard, where you hit R&D. I think maybe Utopia then. One of the two shards is the corp draws two cards when you trash it. But that's only one of it in your deck anyway.
Yeah, and you've got the Fisk Investment Seminar, and that's fun. But it's kind of like I was going to save this for my podcast, but here the sneak peek. But
I feel so privileged.
Well, no, because it's I hardly have insights into things, so I like saving them up. I feel very proud that this is the one intelligent thing I'm going to say on my podcast, but I have to think up something else now. But,
I was going to say, don't waste it on us, for God's sake.
No, it's fine. With cards that do positive things for both of you, like, the Fisk Investment Seminar or what's the Medical Research Fundraiser?
Oh, yeah.
You need to be very careful when you use it. It's if Medical Research Fundraiser, you don't play it if it lets them play a Sure Gamble next turn for easy times, and you don't play Fisk Investment Seminar when they're on one card. It's quite situational. So, forcing them to draw cards thinking that it's always going to be a problem for them isn't always true, I guess, is the thing I'm learning with that. I think even on 4 cards, they're kind of quite happy to, take 3 cards, and it's not really a problem a lot of the time. That's my thing with Fisk. I don't know. Maybe I'm just doing it wrong, but
I don't know. I think I'm with you. It feels like a card that just needs a few more things to back it up.
Yes.
But hey, we'll see. It might work.
Yeah. We'll. I'll keep playing it, and we'll see how we go with that. And Kronos Protocol. It's fun seeing the runner's hand. That's a lot of fun. I enjoy that a lot. Occasionally, when they're running, then I think a good runner will prepare to lose one of their cards. So you're kind of getting an idea of what they're going on, and sometimes there won't be a good choice. There'll be lots of very good cards, and you're I don't quite know. Exactly like that in that exact voice.
Exact voice.
Yes, exactly. But yeah, I've stolen a deck offline for Kronos Protocol, which is basically a uncorrodable, but in Jinteki, and it has blacklists and power shutdown, and it's been fun. It's been fun, but me playing Kate a lot, I've been very wary of blacklist. It's a terrifying card for Kate, but I haven't quite got the knack of it just yet. You need to kind of pop it at the right time. You need to have a server that's ready. You need to have a server that you're sure they can't get into. It's tricky, but it's been fun learning.
Yeah. Oh, awesome. Right. Well, I thought what might be quite nice is since we've just wrapped up the SanSan cycle, we can go back and with our rose-tinted glasses now and have a think about what we liked, what we didn't like as the cycle as a whole. Now it's all kind of wrapped up and we're waiting with bated breath for Data and Destiny. So what were the highs and lows of the SanSan cycle for you guys?
Eady, do you want to... I've just talked for a long time. Do you want to give it a go?
I enjoy I've enjoyed Marcus Batty, I think. That's been my main... I've enjoyed crushing people's dreams with Marcus Batty. That's the overriding... Yeah.
Cybernetics Division, man. I think you've also had some fun with, haven't you?
I had a fairly significant play with that, and it was one of those nice... It's a cool trick until everyone else works out what it is,
Yeah.
I think. Also, some people listen to the podcast. Someone actually said to me, wait, hold on, what did you say? Always do the mandatory upgrades first turn. Right, fuck. What's that? No. And yeah, it was I'd Mushin the mandatory.
The Mushin.
Mushin, yeah. The optimal opening turn is hedge fund Mushin. Like that's ideal. Like there we go. Come on, there's snares everywhere. Come find them.
You should look at them straight in the eyes and say, "Let's dance. Come on."
I really wanted to get some kitten sleeves or some snare sleeves for that deck, but I never got around to it. That was good fun. Yeah, the 4 hand size is just it's so powerful. If you can get an early 1 brain damage off, it was really really good fun.
Ooh.
Yeah. With that,
That's just horror.
Yeah, Fenris. People forgot about. Also, people remembered about Fenris after a week or two. They Yeah, like if someone's forgotten that Fenris is a thing, people will just face check against HB because I'll click through it. It'll be no, it's not fine.
I can just picture the face falling. It's like, oh no. Well, 3 cards.
Yeah. Apart from that, I mean, I enjoyed the playing with click stuff a bit with Brain Taping Warehouse as well. I played a lot of that as well.
Yeah.
But I never actually sort of, at a certain level, it just sort of fell over. People just played around it. I never got to. I don't think it's quite ready to do the full-on like brain damage thing with defective brain chips and Ryan Knight and all that jazz. Not quite there yet for that.
Yeah, I have to say that in the cycle there are a lot of cards that I kind of played once and went, it's not. It's almost there. And it felt like through the entire cycle we were missing key pieces of backup for certain cards. Like say, like Ryan Knight, I couldn't work out how to make him work effectively.
And I mean, anyway, yeah, it's very odd.
But Marcus Batty was, like you say, it is a lot of fun, and it's nice to ruin someone's day with that. My favourite card for the entire thing is Jinteki Biotech and the flipping identities. Which
that was a big new thing.
It adds a level of kind of bluffing. So you don't know what I've got.
It's always net damage. It's always the net damage every time.
But that's the thing.
You have to play as if it's the net damage at all times. That's the
yeah.
But people kind of get that, and then when you flip the greenhouse, they look at you in a confused, like, why didn't you take the brain damage? Like, I don't know, I just felt like mixing it up, I suppose. And Harpsichord Studios, which I've had a lot of fun with as well. And kind of, because people forget about the power, and then they run like, oh no. And you have to reach over, no, you can't take this turn. This is mine now.
You haven't seen many film critics, have you, Steph?
No, none at all. Absolutely none at all. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Enjoy your salad days of Harpsichord.
It's all sunshine and rainbows where I am. I don't know what's wrong with you guys. And then, one of the other cards that I think was very good to come out of this was just a chronotype, which I see pretty much everywhere. Well, especially out of Anarchs, like that is their main draw engine now. Is Pancakes Wildside.
Yeah.
Delicious pancakes.
Yeah, you go to the club, you get some pancakes, you go back out to the club, you eat more pancakes. It's just...
They're not pancakes. We keep going through this.
I'm gonna... Oh.
What are they, Eady, if they're not pancakes?
Well,
I don't understand.
Look, she's a 50s housewife. 50s housewives famously took lots of dieting pills. Dieting pills are actually amphetamines. I'm sure that's the reference they're making.
Because you're too busy to be fat, is that
the
idea?
It's too busy doing housework. Your house is the cleanest it's ever been. Yeah. And that's why it gives you your click back.
Everything's very organised.
Yeah, you're slightly sped up.
Maybe you should... Oh dear. But no, it's good. And like I say, I haven't encountered Film Critic yet, but it does seem to... I don't know whether it's just in the people I've been playing. I just haven't seen a lot of it. But it does seem to be ridiculously strong against some metas.
It really hits Harpsichord. I certainly wouldn't turn off anyone from playing Harpsichord just because Film Critic exists. There are certainly strategies and what's name what we were talking about earlier. Snatch and Grab is a card that you can put to your advantage as well. So, there's...
Yeah.
You can't make it... It's interesting with these kind of hard counters, because you can't make the deck as pure as you want, which kind of sets it back slightly, but it's still viable. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you can waste so much time worrying about one card, like Clot. That was one everyone was worried about. It's like, well, you got to play around Clot. It's like, well, not really.
If you're fast advance, if your main plan is fast advance, and you are going against, if you go into a tournament, you're probably going to see prepaid runs Clot. That's certainly a situation. But yeah, not every deck is going to have a Clot in it, and you play accordingly, and you put your Cyberdeck Suites in the bin when that happens, and you go, well, next time.
Yeah. I've always said that you shouldn't worry too much about what you think the other player is going to be playing, and just kind of try and do your game plan to the best of your ability. And if they happen to have a film critic on the table, if they happen to have a Clot on the table, well, that just makes the game a little bit more interesting.
I know, Eady. How do you play, Eady? Do you guess what's in the opponent's deck and kind of play accordingly? Is that how you play?
I'd like to try and see some cards early, either face up in the bin or off of R&D or HQ, so I've got some idea. Again, depends which idea it is. If it's Jinteki, they're almost certainly trying to murder me, fine. But if it's Blue Sun, I start seeing lots of protective stuff. I can know that, it's vegan Blue Sun. I can not worry about be it like the credit differential or whatever it is. I can stop putting things on Film Critic and just start straight up stealing them. When you see too much like that's I think it is really important, stuff like that. Again, because Film Critic's really inefficient because it's 2 clicks to get it off.
Oh yeah.
No. I was just going to say that's one thing that really struck me when I first started playing. Is like I was playing against people who were much better than me, and they it almost predict what I was about to do, and I kind of never understood. You're clairvoyant. I don't understand, but now I guess they were guessing by how I was playing the cards they'd already seen, because they're clever and have eidentic memories or whatever. They made kind of judgment calls accordingly, and I guess if you're good at guessing, or then that can be a real advantage.
Yeah. The thing I was going to say about Film Critic was that now I've actually had a chance to play with it, and admittedly it was only in one game, and it was, I did snipe the Future Perfect. I was very happy with myself, but then it was like, right, well, I've only got 1 click left this turn, so I can't score it now. And I have plans for my next turn. I don't really want to waste 2 clicks to get it into my score area, so I guess it stays there for a little while. And getting it into the score area becomes actually quite a big deal, I found. It's like you have to really plan it, because you have a bit of a game plan. You kind of roughly know, all right, I need to get a bit more money next turn, and then probably run on that server, and then you can't really waste half of that turn putting an agenda you already have in your score area when it's not even going to win you the game. It's just going to actually count as points.
No, certainly, man.
But
if you think about the types of agendas that you want to put on there, with like a Future Perfect where 2 clicks. That's, I don't know, convert that to money. That's 4 money that you might have spent, or other times that you might have run to steal it saved. NEPD is a good example, isn't it? Because it saves you 4 clicks, 4 credits, and you spend 2 clicks. That's about 2 credits, so it kind of evens out, and it saves you against Butcher Shop. So it depends on the situation, man. Definitely.
Yeah, but I guess if you're the corporation, you can maybe kind of try and exploit it a little bit more and go, all right, so you've got an agenda banked. You can either spend half your turn trying to score that out, or you can run on all these amazing things that could be agendas that I've just put on the table.
No, exactly. It's definitely reading the ball state. Not every agenda goes on the Film Critic.
Oh yeah, definitely. Awesome. Something that I've really liked, actually, is how tightly constructed the theme of each data pack has been, and how you've really got a sense of place and sense of 6 different places from all of the packs. I just thought, because the Lunar Cycle gave us some awesome cards, and it's like, oh cool, so we're on the moon, it's all a bit spacey, it's all a bit weird, but now it's like, okay, cool, I've been, to Old Hollywood, I've been to the slums, I've been to, the sciencey area, I've been to the World Pavilion. It's just, every kind of data pack has felt kind of really cool and special, kind of leafing through each card, and it's kind of felt, quite nice, thinking like, all these are tied to a certain, like, all these cards are taking place in a same kind of World Expo type area, and you can see how they all adhere with their own themes. So you've kind of had one theme with 6 mini themes in it, and I thought that's really cool.
I'll take that.
I hope it's something they're going to continue into the Mombad cycle as well, because that seems like a really colourful, really rich theme to delve into.
Oh, I can't wait.
I also quite liked how a lot of stuff sort of came together, so you didn't get like drip-fed bits of genetics, you got all the genetics bits at the same time.
I don't know when Cloudbreakers say hello, though.
Huh?
Cloudbreakers, though, man. They drip.
Oh yeah, they didn't all show up quite at the same time.
And that's like the thing of like they're useless on their own, or well, I don't know. They're less good on their own.
Yeah, it was same with the renovations. Like we're just waiting for old Hollywood. It's like, come on, I want Hollywood renovation already. In fact, speaking of it, the public agendas, I do like as well with the entire cycle. It seems like there's been sort of like a sideways shift, like because I always assume if I'm playing Wayland, they're probably going to try and kill me. Like 90% of the time, they're going to scorch me to death. It's always something to be aware of. But with the public agendas, it's quite a nice way of kind of changing the way you play it, because you really have to say, well, this is where everything is, so come and get it, but you've really got to get past all of my defences now.
I also really like how thematically for Wayland it really fits, because they are the most overtly evil.
Yes.
They're allowed to kind of do these public things which are very unpleasant, but, because, I don't know, maybe they have a deal with NBN for the news.
Almost certainly.
But, they're doing these really evil things and getting away with it, and it's like, oh, Wayland, you cheeky bugger.
I kind of half want, in my own thematic mind, to get cards that have both kind of, like two different factions on them. So like a Wayland NBN, which is the guy who doctors the news, or a relations officer between HB and Jinteki.
Their house burnt down, but they murdered puppies.
Yeah.
Boo.
I think that's good flavour text.
A Wayland NBN ID where, I don't know, first 3 bad publicities unnegated or something like that.
Oh, that sounds terrible. I love it.
That was probably broken.
With Scorch and with the influence would be scary, because all the good stuff is in. You could have mid-seasons and Scorched and Sea Source and Traffic Accident.
Oh God!
With no influence, then
no. If no influence between those two, then no, it's just a blank ID and you're happy. Really. I hadn't even thought about the influence. Bloody hell.
Agendas as well. I mean, let's have oh dear, no. Let's ask for the no. Not allowed.
That'd be great.
Oh dear.
Astro and
could
Atlas.
Astro the Atlas.
Oh, yeah. Hey, Jinx Padlock. Hey.
Yeah.
And it would be the similar kind of thing to what's the HB one where you can't use Jinteki. It'd just be an identity.
Custom biotics.
Yeah, you just couldn't use any cards from any other identities other than NBN or Wayland. But that's all you need, really.
Yeah, no, very nice.
Yeah. Actually, to be fair, all 15 of my influence in my Blue Sun deck is NBN.
Of course it is.
Yep.
I've actually, speaking of Wayland, I love the fact that they've got some killer assets, finally.
Yeah, it's taken a while,
Capital
hasn't
Investors and Corporate Town and Contract Killer, and geez, they've got some good assets now.
Have you been running Corporate Town, man?
I haven't, but I've had it played against me a few times, and it is just mean and amazing at the same time.
What did they get rid of?
I was, at the time, very resource light in the deck, so they got rid of Wildside, just a chronotype, Katie Jones, and I think maybe one other thing, and I was like, well,
wow.
That's basically all the resources I was playing then, so I was like, well, I can kind of leave your Corporate Town now, because I've got nothing else you want to trash. But no, it was just, in 4 turns it wiped out 1 copy of each of the resources I was running. I was like, well, I can't really get over to get it, because they put it in a very secure server.
Like, I just picture it as like a town in Fallout where they're just brainwashing all your resources. Like, no, come and live in our house. We've got health insurance. We've got a good dentist. There's a school zone. Come live with us.
And really near a butcher's. A very active
You don't need to be going to the club.
butcher's as well, yeah.
I mean, don't question what the meat is, but Jeff down the road, he owns a lot of guns, so...
Flicking through on Netrunner DB at the moment, and I just spotted student loans. Do you remember when student loans was going to break the game?
Oh, yeah.
That never really happened, did it?
People freaked out. I don't know why.
I guess because Kate, and it felt very anti-Kate, and people were very desperate to grab onto anything that was anti-Kate. But yeah. I don't know, because going lateral in Wayland is hard, and it's 2 influence. Yeah. Maybe that's what stops it from happening.
I wonder as well, because I think it came out in the same pack as Blacklist. And Blacklist is 1 less influence, a 0 to res as opposed to 2 to res, same 3 to trash. So I do wonder if it's just it got overshadowed in its own data pack.
Maybe.
By instead of just paying additional to play events that you've already played a copy of, it's just you just can't play anything from your heap.
Yeah. Blacklist is a incredibly mean card.
Yeah.
And that's why Eady likes it, isn't that right?
Yeah.
Eady?
Oh dear, Blacklist behind a toll booth.
That's terrible.
Yeah, and I had a Cyber Cipher in the bin and a Cyber Cipher on R&D, and I couldn't scavenge the Cyber Cipher because Blacklist, and it was horrible.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
That's why Blacklist, not student loans. Yeah, because you just go and break the student loans and it'd be fine.
Yeah.
Blacklist is, is much better.
I guess also you and me, Mark, have quite enjoyed Geist, haven't we?
Yes, yeah, I was a big fan of Geist. Still am, but I'm kind of experimenting with a bit of Shaper at the moment, like I said. But yeah, once the I don't know, it was really strange. Like once the Cloudbreaker suite for him kind of came out, it just kind of clicked in my head. I'm like, it was almost like that bit. I far too often reference Jurassic Park, but it's just like when Lex sits in front of the computer, it's like, I know this. It's Unix. It's just like oh, I know this. I can make these Cloudbreakers work in a deck. And yeah, it kind of all came together, and then Johnny, who goes to Tuesday with us, he ended up winning a tournament with only very slightly modified version of that deck, and it's just like
that's not really a fair test. They might have been they might have been distracted by his beautiful arms, though, potentially.
That is true. Yes,
Johnny has very beautiful arms.
He was voted to have the best arms in Netrunner.
That's true. And I like the second place wasn't even close. I don't even know who second place was. It might have been Johnny again. Actually, we might have voted him first and second.
It's his other arm.
I'm gonna have to come down to London on a Tuesday just to see these arms. Now.
Seriously, they're worth the trip.
But yeah, how did you kind of get on with Geist? Obviously.
Oh,
how are you getting on with Geist then, Chris?
I shoved the Cloudbreakers in. I did some things. It was fun. It's fun drawing cards. I could never. I really enjoyed him a lot, and then I took him to a tournament, and now I hate him because he's just his influence is so tight. It's kind of like the thing that I always hear our friend Tim talk about with Kit. She just had given those couple more influence, and she'd kind of be unstoppable. I kind of feel that way with Geist. Give him a couple more influence, or I don't know, like some multi R&D access in faction. Never going to happen, but it'd be nice.
Yeah.
And it would just be insane. But no, he's. I don't know. If you want to go full Cloudbreakers, it's just too difficult.
I was running no Cloudbreakers with Geist and had a good time with him, but again, not that winny, but very fun.
It's just fun drawing cards. You do a thing, another thing happens, and you have more things, and it's just nice. I don't know. Yeah, it's a very tactile identity.
Yeah, but so much of your influence is spoken for with Cloneship and
exactly. That's the thing. Yeah.
I could never ever get him to work. Like no matter how hard I tried, I just couldn't get a feel for the trashing and the drawing. I mean, I'm an adult player at heart, but I don't know what it is. I actually think about it. I don't think I've ever found a criminal identity I've ever got on with either.
I'm finding criminal at the moment quite tough. I'm trying out Laramie Fisk, and I tried an Ian deck because I thought Film Critic and the Source might do something. But I don't know. It's wrapping your head round. So if I lose this breaker, it's gone. That's part of the thing for me coming from Shaper. I have no multi R&D access. And I'm kind of stuck with the cards that I've drawn. It's I don't know. It's just different. It's very different. Maybe I'm just getting the wrong criminal. Actually, I thought this the other day. Like maybe Leela, something a bit more aggressive, might suit my palette a bit more.
Yeah, I think I might have to go back to see her because Shaper is altogether too mathsy for me. Like I don't like sitting there and going, I've got this much and this much and this much. Can I run? I think that's why I like Wizard, because it's like, I'll run, and if I hit something,
Well, that's why I like prepaid a lot, because it's you just do all the money that's in your hand, make a run, and that's normally enough.
Yeah.
At least not to die. You might jack out before the last piece of ice, but they don't have to think too hard.
I tried desperately to make a Haley Kaplan Comet prepaid deck. It didn't work. It didn't work at all. Who knew that saving that extra credit would just be the most useful thing?
Yeah, no, man. 1 credit a turn. It's does work.
I was poor all the time.
Haley, I've played some fun Haley decks. Haley with Magnum Opus, if you can get it out turn 1 or 2, is glorious. You just cards appear on the table, and no one's really quite sure how they got there, but
Magic. Is
magic.
mostly
I played
magic.
against a resource version of it. It was really fun. Like just kept installing resources as well.
We have to try and find that deck, because I tried really hard with her, and then eventually I just made a I copied the Kaplan's Flying Chameleons deck, which was a hell of a lot of fun. Just bouncing chameleon back and forth, like I can get in here, now I can get in here. You can't stop me.
Tell you, one of the things that I've quite liked as well is just the number of opportunities the runners now have to just get tons of cards in their hand, or maybe the better way is kind of protect themselves from being flatlined through meat or net damage quite so easily. Because I found that with Geist, just with Forger I could avoid the tag, or I could just trash lots of cards that were in front of me to just boost my hand size. Playing against someone with Drug Dealer recently, just seeing them draw 2 cards at the start of my turn just constantly fucked me off and just ruined my flatline plan.
I mean, we've got Beach Party in this as well, which I played for a bit. Is Game Day in here as well, or is that in...
Yeah, Beach Party.
Game Day, isn't it?
Yeah, and even they made Research Station better in the hope that people would play it, and they still don't play it. What's better Research Station called? I can't find it now. I'm having a moment.
What faction is it?
I'm sure it's Is it HB? Was it HB?
Is this their new one, the Cybernetics Court?
Yeah. Hand size increased by 4.
Yes. Oh, it's an asset. Yeah.
It was, it's I couldn't get. It's like Game Day Beach Party it's a fun thing. I mean, I paired it quite nicely with Faust, because that's another card that I really like from this. Was just
Faust, of course. How could we forget Faust?
I figured everyone already. We just weren't going to talk about it because it was just like.
At
the start last week, are you playing Faust? It's like I could not play Faust if you. Don't. Yeah. It's reached that
Please
point.
don't.
It's reached that point in the life cycle. People just don't want to play Faust anymore.
Oh dear. But no, it's been a fairly decent cycle. I'm very happy with it. We've got a lot of interesting tools. I
know, because when I kind of sat down this morning to kind of write down the list of all the things that I found interesting from the cycle, I thought, oh man, I don't know what I'm going to put down, and then ended up kind of filling the page of all the interesting things that came out, kind of forgetting that 6 months ago, kind of all the stuff that came out in the Valley, and going, oh geez, that was actually really good, and then thinking like, and the positional ice as well, like Gutenberg and Kurt Turing and the other Merimati and Crick is phenomenal as well.
Yeah.
Crick and Marcus Batty is the best thing in the world.
Yes, it is.
And Clot, obviously. Clot came out, and Symmetrical Visage. I honestly don't remember a time before Symmetrical Visage.
I can't remember not clicking a baby.
Yeah,
No.
touching your face. Yeah. Also, they are Faust's favourites. It's
The babies?
The babies.
Yeah.
They are the most.
It breaks the subroutines even harder.
Yeah, they're the most delicious.
So we're saying lots of troubling things on your show. I hope you don't mind. I
It's
think
nothing we haven't said before.
No.
If anyone listened to this show that wasn't familiar with Netrunner, we'd be in jail a long time ago. It's been good. So I'm very much looking forward to Data and Destiny as well. That'll be
yeah.
I don't know. It's just going to be interesting. It's all the interesting things.
I got played against with the MBN identity that does the what's name? The runner loses a click whenever the first
adverts!
ad.
That's my favourite. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Spark Agency. It's the best.
What's it called?
Spark Agency.
That is an identity.
It's only once per turn, though, isn't it?
That's all you need.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking,
Yours and theirs, man.
Oh gosh. Yeah.
I did a move where I was broke because it was annoying. And then I clicked for a credit and tried to install Armitage code busting, and Quinn's went no, hold on, wait. Well, after you click for a credit, I res an ad, so I was like one click behind. I'm like, oh fuck's sake. But yeah, there's going to be some really nice maneuvers with that, I think.
Oh, you can play Rain a headlock, awesome. And you can just hold each other in a headlock for the whole game.
Just go to time. Yeah. It's like no one's done anything. We just looked at each other.
What's happened? We've both got 0 credits and can't do anything.
We're both very angry and annoyed.
We're having fun.
You appear to have taken bites out of the table. Nope, fun. Fun has been had.
All the fun.
Oh dear. And then I'm looking forward to the new the mini faction runners as well.
Yeah. I'm really psyched for Apex.
I was very excited about Apex until I started thinking about how I'd build a deck. And then
I have no idea how I'm going to do it.
I think you just put cards in. Just throw cards in.
Oh, cards! Oh, yeah, no, good idea. Yeah.
No, don't care about what's on the cards. Just put all the cards as you can. Doesn't matter, because you're not going to be looking at them anyway.
Well,
That's
what I found was
very
the problem
true.
with Sunny is it was a 50 card deck, and I've never played with the Valencia, and it was 50 cards, and I didn't see any economy. It's weird. Don't like
Maybe
it.
put Paige Piper in, man. I don't know.
I probably should.
Thin that bad boy down.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd work. Yeah. And Adam.
I don't know
he's
how
really weird.
much influence is Paige.
She's only one, I think. I've got it on. Spin the magic mouse wheel till it finds the cards. She's 2 influence, but 0 credits.
Might be worth it.
Might be worth it. Yeah.
Getting to your
Could be.
assets and the stuff you want a bit quicker. That sounds reasonable.
Yeah. Also, those breakers
Oh,
are
hold
really
on.
expensive. Yeah.
Oh no, sorry. I had a what's name? What's spaghetti person? What's his name?
What?
You know, the spaghetti virtual resources person or virus.
Oh, Apex.
Apex. Sorry, I had an Apex moment where I looked at Paige Piper and thought, "Oh, she's not a virtual resource. You can't have her." But no, actually, that's the other one.
Ah, right. Yes. Spaghetti. Is he like the flying spaghetti monster? Is that how
Well,
you're?
he, she, or it, Edie.
He, she, or it.
Yes.
Is that our Lord and Saviour, the flying spaghetti monster? Is that what Apex is?
I think that's pretty much what he, she, or it is.
Oh wow.
I think I'm just looking forward to playing an apocalypse.
Yes.
Yeah, but
I think if I can
criminal,
pull that
right?
off. Oh yeah.
Turn 2 apocalypse is real, surely.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Whoops. Sorry, nothing's left. Or just waiting until like the end of the game, like destroying everything they worked so hard to build.
Sorry, your corpse red ringed. I'm very sorry about that.
If it has a factory reset, I'm very, very sorry.
Very, very sorry.
Someone clicked on this Trojan and the virus got in.
If it helps, I'll smash all my stuff as well if you like.
Yeah.
If that makes you happier, I'll do that.
Oh dear.
Wait, hold on. Does that work with Lovely Exiles? Make you draw all of your cards? Or is that a trash ability? No. Oh, poor Exile. He's so
No,
bad.
I don't think so. His time will come, Edie. His time. It won't.
No,
It won't.
no, no.
It might do.
No.
Hope.
No.
Hope is what you need.
Hope is all you have with Exile.
Yeah.
It never turns into anything else, sadly.
I'd love if the next deluxe expansion was just 162 new cards for Exile only.
I think that might make him playable. So there you go.
I don't know. It'd be touch and go.
Maybe. Although there was that deck that won a while ago, which was kind of like pre-played with cash and clone chips and thing.
Oh yeah.
But no, I didn't see anyone else do anything with him.
Yeah, he kind of again fell out of favour.
Mm.
But it's like the Professor. Like I've only seen a couple of Professor decks that work, but they're glorious when they do. You see someone walk in with a 99 card deck. I was like, oh, okay. Then. I guess you've got all the solutions in there somewhere.
I was going to say a couple. That's twice as many as I've ever seen. Actually, it might be infinite more than I've seen. So
Yeah.
well done.
There was a guy when there was a tournament I went to up here, and he was running a Professor deck, and he was exclusively known as the Professor because it was the only deck he ever ran. I was like, I think you've earned that moniker, but I don't really want to call you the Professor.
What cost? What
What
cost?
cost? So I'm quite happy here with my little wizard deck, breaking stuff.
And that's why we call you the Wiz, isn't that right?
Okay. Oh dear. Is that? Do we have anything else to say on the cycle, or have we pretty much exhausted everything?
I think we've almost named every card, which is good job.
Yeah. Yeah, they've all been covered.
All been very good,
Yeah.
yeah. Cool. So I thought just before we wrap up, we'd find out a little bit more about who Chris and Eady are and how Run Last Click came to being. Because
Oh God,
let's
boring.
Let's face it,
Yeah,
you are the
boring.
nation's favourite podcast about Netrunner. No, the universe's favourite, the universe of tomorrow's favourite Netrunner podcast.
Very good.
So yeah, I was kind of curious myself in a way, actually, kind of what kind of got you guys into thinking, yeah, we'll do a podcast about Netrunner, and kind of the secret history of Run Less Click.
The untold history.
History.
I used to work at a radio station, and I had access to very good sound engineers, and I never really took advantage of them. And then we started playing this game called Netrunner. Eady, do you remember?
I do.
After a failed start, after you bought the wrong game, do you remember that?
I'm looking at it right now. I'm sitting at home.
Did you buy Infiltration by mistake?
No, it wasn't out then. I bought Android. I still haven't played
Oh.
it. Yeah, exactly.
We still need to play that, actually. Anyway, but it started that, and then I got into my head that starting a podcast would be a good idea, because I listen to lots of podcasts, actually. And Eady was keen on getting that, and I thought it would be fun just having a chat with my chum and recording it, and if people liked it, then that's just a nice additional thing. And I could also muck about in recording studios and stuff, and it just kind of went from there, really.
Yeah. And then you learned how to edit, so you could remove all the terrible things I say.
Yes, editing is the hardest part of the thing, but yeah.
Cool. And have you found your newfound fame in the Netrunner community?
Fame. Actually, I scoff, but actually, it is a bit weird when people recognise you that you haven't met before. That is a bit strange.
Yeah.
Like you'll go, Eady. I don't want to speak to you as well, but yeah, when we go to like larger Netrunner events, a couple of people, people sometimes turn up and say, like the show, recognise us somehow. I don't know.
I normally get the words, I recognise that voice.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, hello. Oh, not oh, hello. It's like, yes, that's me. Yes.
It's always nice.
Yeah, nice. Everyone was always lovely. No one has ever said a bad thing. Which is lovely.
No.
Yeah, everyone is always delightful. Nice. So yeah.
Yeah, but it is peculiar. I don't know, man. It's an interesting experience. I think part of it is just being around a long time. If you can kind of keep doing it, then you kind of gradually accrue more and more listeners. That's kind of been what's happened to us. And
bullheaded tenacity.
Exactly, and you're consistent, and you try and make it an interesting listen and fun, and put in hard work, and people appreciate that. And it's nice. Yeah.
Have some kind of plan for the episode is a big one. I think that's something.
Yes, the first episode
if we didn't have an agenda.
No, agenda Netrunner, but and I that didn't work for me, so I just started making lots and lots of notes.
That's kind of how it works with me and Mark. I turn up completely unprepared and get told what we're talking about. Like, okay, I'm sure I can throw something together in the next 5 minutes.
So because I've got this list of things that like something like something that's either kind of bugging me about kind of like a card or a deck archetype. I'm like, I need to vent that. We'll make that a topic, and I'll thinly veil it so I can rant about something.
Then put it on the internet.
Yes, no negativity ever happens.
No, none. Well, actually, to be fair, I don't know how much negativity you've had, man.
Zero.
But everyone's been very supportive of us, and even when we were like really shit, I listened back to those first few episodes, and they're awful. They're bad. They're bad times. But everyone's always been nice.
I don't know. They have a charm. Like when Mark introduced me to your podcast, because I, much like you, listen to a lot of podcasts. I've got an hour commute, so it's more than happy to have that on in the car. And he's like,
yes.
"Oh, listen to these guys. They're pretty funny." I listen to it, it's like, I think I might be in love. This is my kind of podcast.
Oh, that's very sweet. Thank you.
Yeah. And I think a lot of the positive feedback is generally because the Netrunner community is a really lovely and positive community anyway. So it's even like we're releasing something, and as I think I mentioned this to Stef earlier, it's like the Netrunner community just loves engaging with and consuming Netrunner media, whether it's like the Team Covenant or Team Whatcast videos or any of the podcasts that are out there. And I even saw on Reddit over the last couple of days, like 2 new podcasts have just started up, and it's just like,
yes.
I thought we were late to the game, and it's now these new people coming in. It's like that's actually great that even 4 cycles in, people are still thinking, you know what, I'm going to start a podcast because I love Netrunner and I want to do a podcast about it, and then everyone will start getting behind them as well, and it's one of the things I really love about it.
Seriously, just outlast everyone else, and then you become the de facto one.
I'm waiting for it to get to a point where we can invite all the podcasters to a tournament, just have a podcast tournament, see who is the best podcast. And just see us all turn up and be really rubbish at Netrunner.
Just talk. See who can talk for the longest about Netrunner.
One of the things I did want to ask you is, because you've been around for a while, like you say, you've outlasted a lot of lesser podcasts.
No,
I'm joking. I'm joking.
Don't say that.
I'm joking. But I wondered whether you'd seen any change in the community over time, from when we first started playing to where you are now. Whether you've noticed any particular shifts, or whether whether you've seen it grown in popularity or changed in any way.
Eady, you read more internet than me. What do you think?
Oh, I was going to more talk about just generally seeing people. Because when we started, there was less people, and there was less people. We didn't know them all, and now you know most people, but there's a lot more people. I think that's so it's very cut down, but that's essentially what I think it's like. Yeah, because before we went to lots of new tournaments, but now it's essentially a lot of people who travel around, and you recognise people, and yeah. As far as how it's changed, people are a bit more serious now, but not much, because people came across from other games and played those seriously as well. I'm a bit more used to playing serious games, I think. I've got more into the mindset. Maybe I'm a more serious games player. Maybe that is what has changed.
Because I have to admit, when it first came out, when I first started playing Netrunner, I was kind of worried that it was going to lead into another sort of magic situation with power creep, and then people just being sometimes genuinely awful to other players, which has been my Magic experience, unfortunately.
No.
But it's worked out in such a lovely way that everyone I meet around the world where I've kind of gone and played Netrunner has been the most phenomenally interesting and more than happy just to throw down in a good way. It's almost like a dance-off, I say. It's like, yeah, we'll just go play a bit of Netrunner. It'll be fine.
Yeah, man, definitely. I assume that the reason a lot of people still are quite into, still nice with Netrunner is the lack of money involved, maybe. I don't know, because there's a lot of money involved in Magic, as I understand it.
Oh, yeah. But I think that as long as we have, because it's a living card game, you don't have that, I've got more money so I can afford the better cards kind of attitude. Because even when I was over in Canada, I got rinsed several times by the core set. There are some good cards in the core set that I'd completely forgotten about. And it was just nice to see that even though I'm trying to get new people in, I'm like, well, there are hundreds of cards now, but if you get the core set, you're still fairly set.
Core sets, eh?
Yeah, nice. I like it.
Words. No, totally, man. I think you make life a lot easier for yourself if you pick and choose a few choice data packs. But core set can still do business.
Yeah, it's still surprisingly competitive, and again, like Steph said, you forget about some of the cards that were in there that are just surprise this card, and then you're like, oh fuck, okay, right, now I have to deal with this card I've not thought about in 3 years, and you're gonna win now. Oh my god.
It's almost the reverse. When someone looks at a new card, they say, do you mind if I read that? It's like, oh god, I haven't seen this in ages. Can I just have a look at that card, please?
So you said they forgot about Gabe.
Yeah, completely.
Oh, Gabe, man. What a card.
Oh, I played HQ Hammer for such a long time. I still can get it to work. But it's just, yeah, it's nice. It's nice to see. It's like Rabbit Hole. They just kept... I couldn't find them because they had all these rabbit holes. I was like, why does no one run this card?
Oh, that's coming back in a big way with Security Nexus.
Yeah.
In Kate, it's a bit dirty. Because you can mod out the Security Nexus and then have your 3 rabbit holes. And you've got your Tyson Observatory to go and dig it up, and yeah.
Oh, it's a good card. It's also like Infiltration. I'd completely forgotten about Infiltration. It's like, oh, can I just have a look at that card? It's like, oh, it's a trap, and you've ruined my day now. Thanks. Taking away the fun of guessing.
Yes, so, Chris and Eady, for the 2 people who don't know what Run Last Click is and where they can find it.
You've been bigging us up far too much in this episode, man. We are famous, maybe famous in the Netrunner community, but like maybe I'm not sure that's actual fame though.
I think it's just nice to be collaborating with you.
Yeah.
No, exactly, man. Yeah, no, it's nice to see more British people get in on this podcasting game because there's a lot of American and Canadian accents out there that it's nice to get a bit of colour, a bit of variety in this business. So no, thank you for doing what you're doing and keep it up.
Oh, thank you
Same
very
for
much.
you guys as well. I mean, highlight of my fortnight is seeing that I've got a new Run Last Click episode to download. Yeah, let's find out what Chris and Eady are up to now.
Oh, that's very kind. Thank you. We put a lot of work into it, don't we, Eady? So
Yeah.
it's nice that people enjoy it. So that's very cool.
Yeah, again, like I said earlier, it's just like it's still great how many people are committing to doing Netrunner content, whether it's written stuff, podcasts, or videos, and I don't have enough hours in the day to watch it all and listen to it all.
Well, one thing I did want to ask is, are we going to get another video of you guys playing at all?
Let me ask the head of television, Eady.
Yes, at some point, but possibly not. I don't know. I've got ideas. There are thoughts happening. Thoughts keep happening.
It's all up in the air, man.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's finding the time. That's the thing.
Yeah.
And because setting up the episode, I enjoy doing it. Podcasting is a hobby, and you should expect a return on it in that way. You expect it's going to take up your time, but you're going to have a satisfying thing at the end of it. And so I just takes me a couple of hours to prepare for an episode. It takes us a couple of hours to record one, and then it takes me about 6 hours editing, 6 or 8 hours, and then putting it up online and stuff. So it's a weekend basically. It's like my Sunday after we record an episode is me doing that. And I've forgotten the question. What was I saying?
Are we going to do more video?
Are we going to do more videos? Yes.
And
So that takes up a lot of my time, and I like being a well-rounded human being and not just doing Netrunner things. So
Yes.
that's the tricky part.
Yeah.
If I was a maniac like Christian, who just
I don't actually think he sleeps.
no, he makes such good videos as well.
Yeah.
Like they're like the gold standard. Have you seen those new overlays he's put on with like the
with the
Oh,
drawers.
yeah.
draw a card, attack this surface? Like how do you manage this? This is insane.
It's like it feels like watching a video game now with all these cool like things going.
Yeah, but yeah, we would like to. But yeah, time.
Fair enough.
Too long, didn't listen. Yeah, that's the answer.
I do have one last question actually, and apologies if this ruins any potential surprises you might have. But last year, when I was driving home after spending Christmas with my brother and my mum, I'd been on the road for about 8 hours because it was horrendous traffic. It had snowed up north, so obviously people forget how to drive when it snows.
Oh, yeah, it's
King's
terrible.
Cross had decided not to work, so everyone had taken to the roads. And I was depressed and angry, and then on my list of podcasts I'd not yet listened to, your Christmas special came up, and it was awesome. And I was wondering if you had any plans to do any similar type of Christmassy podcast event, because it was really cool what you guys did last year.
Edie has big plans, don't you, Edie?
Mega big
Really?
plans. Yes.
Mega big plans, yes. Plans from we didn't quite have time to do the actual plan we wanted to do. But hopefully this year, Edie.
Yeah, I'll do some.
Commit
I'll do some more
by saying things with your face.
I'll do some more writing.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, original story. I think we were thinking, weren't we? But we'll say no more.
Is this maybe expanded John Hackman universe content?
I don't think you understand just how excited you've made me right now.
We have an idea. Let's not
We'll leave
bring
it
up
there.
too much. We'll leave it there because
Yeah.
who knows how this will turn out. But
Exactly.
But yeah, we have an idea and we'll see.
Awesome. Well, I look forward to hearing it when it comes to fruition.
Cool.
Yep, so on that note, why don't you guys do the things that you normally do at the end of your show and let people know where they can find Run Last Click?
Edie, do you remember?
I do remember. The email address is runlastclick@gmail.com. We are on Facebook at facebook.com/runlastclickcast. On Twitter at runlastclick. I'm at Oedipus, spelt not the way you think it's spelt, and Chris is at @_milkjester.
And we're also at runlastclick.blogspot.co.uk. we're just fucking everywhere. Just type in Run Last Click into Google. That tends to be because who else would call themselves something like that?
Imposters.
You know what? So I have bought the rights. I've bought the domain runlastclick.com, and I've been paying for it for over a year, and I've done nothing with it because I'm lazy. So maybe that'll happen one day.
You can send it to the rich people with the Run Last Click podcast. They'll buy off you. Simon's got it good.
I like it. But yes, Run Last Click is a podcast about Netrunner and Netrunner's fun, and then we talk about Netrunner in podcast.
Yep. It's also
go.
just quite nice to listen to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you do cool things like Deck Club and Book Club and other kind of nice community get together, do the same kind of thing for a few weeks, and feedback kind of events, which are really cool.
Yeah, we try. I haven't done so many recently, but yeah, it's whatever we think is fun that week. We don't plan too far in advance. Well, apart from this Christmas one, a year in the making. Oh my god! But yeah, it's mostly what do we want to talk about this week, and then that's what happens.
Yeah. Cool.
Well, thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah, it's been
thank
an
you for
absolute
asking.
pleasure having you
Thanks
guys.
for having us. Yeah, it's been brilliant.
Cool, and I should probably do the end of our show things now.
Yeah.
So it is canleft.com/Nerdrunners if you want to find the podcast. We also post it on Reddit. You can comment there. You can comment through the website. You can send us lovely feedback and comments and such at nerdrunnerspodcast@gmail.com is the email address. And Twitter is I'm at Marcus Friend and Steph is at House of Moose. And I think that's all the things I had to say then. I've got all the Run Last Click information in my head, and I'm going to explode because I have too many duplicate information. But it's okay. The podcast is over. Thank you very much, you guys.
Thanks a lot. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Well, it's usually it's more difficult for Steph and I when we record just the two of us because we've been recording for about 20 minutes by the point we do a clap.
We've got at least half an hour of bullshit to get out of the way of, like, how are you? How's work?
Oh my goodness.
All right. So yeah, I figure we'll just get started.
Cool.
If that's all right.
Yeah.
You sound more nervous than you ever have done.
Got to impress the Run Last Click guys. Even though I see them nearly every week. But.
If it helps, we're very easily impressed, isn't it?
Okay.
Right, Eady?
Yeah, I'm impressed by my beer at the moment. Life is good.
I'm impressed by the carrots that my wife cut up for me. They're very nice. I was eating them earlier.
Nice, good carrots.
Yeah, man, crunchy. It's good.
See, this is what I mean by 20 minutes of just talking. I think it's a wholly English thing.
I mean, isn't this making it in the podcast? This would make our podcast.
Yeah.
This would be a really good start to our podcast.
No, this is in the podcast. We'll just have to cut it in somewhere else.
Oh, okay.
Considering when we had
Yeah,
Christian
this
on,
will
we
probably go at
talked
the
about...
end of the podcast. Nice 5-minute talk about carrots.
Well, when we had Christian on, we talked about cheesecake for about 20 minutes.
20
so...
minutes on cheesecakes.
Yeah.
Well, is he a fan then?
Apparently.
Oh, alright, good.
Who knew? Beforehand, we had no clue. I just let them do it.
Is he? Does he like making his own, or is he kind of just a fan of buying them?
I think there was a discussion about what flavour cheesecake was the best, and then Mark just went off on this rant about New York style cheese. You know what? If I get onto it now, he's just going to keep talking about it.
Just be a repeat of last time.
I just want to clarify, Mark. Are you not a fan of the very thick, creamy cheesecake then?
No, I there are very few cheesecakes I won't eat.
I feel like
But-
if you have a lot of cheese to the biscuity, the buttery biscuit base, then I feel that's too much. The ratio needs to be correct, and that ratio is kind of quite at most.
You don't want a good amount of base.
You want a decent amount of base, but I'm just don't want too much of the creamy cheesy bit. That can overpower it a bit for me.
Or if it's overset as well. I was at a wedding in Canada, and you just couldn't cut into it. It was awful.
Really? Oh
Yeah,
my god, that's barely cheesecake.
Yeah, I know. It
That's
was
just cheese, isn't it?
Yeah, it could have. Well, I wish it kind of was, because it was crap cheesecake as well. Once you got into it.
Edie, do you have
Wasn't
any
given to you on
long?
Lazy Susan with some crackers.
Well, I do.
Edie, do you have any long opinions about cheesecake?
I do, because I think the debate sort of German Austrian style cheesecake is really important and often overlooked. in sort of
Very
the British
important.
circle.
What historically?
Just in
No, I'm
general.
with you.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely with you. There's a level of Bavarian cheesecake that needs to be expressed around the world.
Yeah, it's baked and it's got raisins in it. It's really nice.
Yeah.
People don't know
Sounds
about
nice.
it. It's a shame. They're missing out.
You see, this is what I meant by if we start down the cheesecake path, we'll never get off of it.
It's a dangerous path.
We should be doing a specialist cheesecake podcast on the side.
Netrunner and Cheesecake, we're renaming the podcast.
Sounds like a good plan.
Anyway.
Right. Oh, hold on. I forgot something. Be right back.
Sure.
He's getting cheesecake.
I'm so jealous.